I'd like to take a moment to introduce and thank our judge for the evening, Ryan Brenner, for coming over from Pratt. We really appreciate his time and helping us evaluate our 4-H'ers' hard work tonight. So please give him a round of applause.
Good afternoon. That's a little loud. Good afternoon, and it's a pleasure to be in Kiowa County tonight, and really three high-quality individuals we're starting out here evaluating for senior showmanship. Please join me. Let's give them a round of applause for a job well done this evening. To me, showmanship is one of the more rewarding things to judge, but also one of the harder things to judge because while there is some objectivity, unfortunately, we get to a spot where it's personal preference, and someone's going to like one maybe a little bit more than the other. Today, I have to evaluate what's in front of me and the things. And I think talking to these individuals is always rewarding because we get to learn a little bit about their project. We get to learn a little bit about them, and really helps me sort them a little bit based on knowledge, based on answering some questions and those kind of things. But like I told them, at this level, we need to have the basics kind of down. And one of those is foot placement, making sure that animal is presented the best to their ability every time the judge gives them a look. And I know it's hot. The judge is going to take a little bit longer tonight. We're already getting a couple that are antsy. Understand that. You just got to work through it the best. So really enjoyed getting to know these young folks. We'll go out and pick your champion in reserve. But again, if you're an intermediate, you're a junior, this is the group to look up to, right? Both three individuals that did a really nice job tonight in showmanship. See what they're doing, ask them some questions, keep learning, and I'll go out there and pick your champion in reserve. Let's give them a round of applause while I do that, please.
Let's give our seniors a good round of applause. Out of our senior showmanship class, our grand champion is Justin Slade. Reserve champion is Charlie Jantz. And top blue is Sonny Kishpaw. In the ring now, we will have our intermediate showmanship, and that'll be Cooper Jantz, Colton Gringer, Zion Kishpaw.
Join me, please. Let's give all of our intermediate showmen a big round of applause, please. Well, again, 3 outstanding individuals. I think it's fun, again, rewarding to be able to talk to them and learn more about their story, about their project, and their outlook on life. You get some pretty wild answers sometimes. So, hey, I went through and we talked about a few improvements, some spots they can move, but I really enjoyed getting to hear about what they're doing here, what they're doing. I would tell everyone that wants to improve in showmanship, man, it's repetition and it's learning. And one of those, watch someone older get a mentor, watch someone that's done it well, that's placed well at other shows, national shows. Find someone that'll invest in you if this is something that you want to get better at. But really, it's about exhibiting that animal to the best of your ability, and it's also about understanding the project and knowing a little bit about what to do and where it comes from. So with that, I'm going to go and pick your champion in reserve. Let's give him a round of applause while I do that, please.
The results of our intermediate showmanship class: placing first with grand champion is Cooper Jantz, reserve is Zion Kishpaw, and third with the top blue is Colton Geringer. In the ring now, we will have our junior showmanship class. That'll be Abigail Geringer, Joseph Kishpaw, and Zaylee Kishpaw. Our grand and reserve champions from the showmanship division will come back tomorrow morning for round robin starting at 8 a.m. It is the all-around showmanship competition where they'll get to show different species and compete against each other to see how well they are on teamwork and all-around showmanship of all animals. So if you have an opportunity to come by tomorrow morning, please feel free to stop in and watch the round robin competition. After our junior showmanship class, we will have our open class bucket calves. And then after that, we will have our open class fun class. Here in a little bit, if you want some experience to show beef or want some time in the ring showing a bucket calf, as long as you got closed-toed shoes and pants, we'll have you guys line up and do that. But first, we'll do bucket calves after juniors.
Hey, join me. Let's give our junior showmanship exhibitors a big round of applause, please. This is where it gets fun. Really asking questions at this level, you get some really cool answers. But I love seeing the tenacity. I love seeing the grit. I love seeing the future of this county out here in the Beef Project. I think the future for Kiowa County is very bright if these three individuals are any indication of what they've done. We talked to them a little bit. We talked about some things that they can improve upon. We asked them some questions. And really, again, three very, very high quality individuals. It comes down very, very close here between champion, reserve, and third. And again, I hope you all know you did a wonderful job tonight. Ask me questions if you want. I'd love to tell you a little bit more about what I'd like to see. But three really high quality individuals here. I'm going to go pick champion, reserve. Let's give them a big, big round of applause here for a job well done.
Results of our junior showmanship class. Placing first with grand is Joseph Kishpaw. Placing reserve is Abigail Geringer. And third with the top blue is Zaylee Kishpaw. In the ring now, we will have our open class bucket calf with Evelyn Watson and Tara Lee Watson. After our open class bucket calf class, we will have our open class fun class. This is for anyone of any age that wants to have an experience leading a calf. You just have to have closed-toed shoes and pants. So if anyone wants to do the open class fun class, please start lining up on the north end of the barn.
Let's give our Bucket Calf exhibitors a big round of applause, please, tonight. And again, like showmanship, this is a fun one to judge because you get to ask them some questions, and I sure appreciate the answers that we get. But both of these calves, one's being a little bit more rambunctious than the other one, but two exhibitors here that are doing a wonderful job. I know that they're going to have a great future in the beef project here in Kiowa County. So both get blues today. Let's give them a big round of applause as they exit the ring, please.
The results of our open class bucket calf class, Evelyn and Terry Lee both got a blue. Now we will go ahead and do our open class fun class. I see we got a lot of people lined up over there, so we'll go ahead and get that started. while we are having our open class fun class, I'm going to go ahead and announce our participants for tomorrow morning's round robin competition. From the senior division for the swine species will be Bella Dearden. Senior division representing the sheep species will be Justin Slade. And then senior division representing the beef species will be Charlie Jantz and Shawnee Kishpaw. Out of our intermediate divisions representing the swine species will be Bodie McDonald and Booker McDonald. Out of the sheep species will be Tucker Slade. And then out of the beef species will be Cooper Jantz and Zion Kishpaw. For our junior division, representing the swine species, will be Landon Unruh and Mason Unruh. And then in our junior division, representing the beef species, will be Joseph Kishpaw and Abigail Geiringer.
Hey, as we complete here the open class bucket fun class, let's give all of our exhibitors a big round of applause, but also let's thank the Watson family for the use of these two bucket calves on a couple carousel rides. So let's give them a round of applause, please.
All right, after our open class here, we're going to go ahead and move on into our market show. Our first class is going to be lightweight market steers. These are steers weighing 1,051 pounds to 1,082 pounds. In this class will be Zion Kishpaw, Sani Kishpaw, Joseph Kishpaw, and Zaylee Kishpaw.
we transition into the market steer class, and I think four in the lightweight steer class, that if this was a judging contest and these were the four that were presented to you, I guarantee you would have 12 or 15 different combinations of who liked what and who liked and which one won. And I think as you look at the lightweight steers here, to me it becomes a little bit more logical when you talk about this being a terminal show. And I think there's two steers that are rather close there on the top that do a nice job of combining muscle shape with a little bit of carcass composition and fat deposition. You think about that gray steer that's going to lead the class today. To me, he's a little more complete in the terms of being a little closer to his compositional endpoint, but also have a little bit of look to him when he gets stopped. The young man is doing a nice job showing that steer. He's not the stoutest steer in this class by any stretch of the imagination, but to me, in this class, with what was presented, he is the best combination of muscle, finish, and a little bit of eye appeal. And I think as you think about him in comparison to the steer that'll sit second today, that steer is more robust in his top line. He's got more shape to the upper part of his rib. Definitely he's got more shape in the upper part of his hip. I think as he starts to move, that's where I question his integrity a little bit. He's not made exactly well in that hip. When he moves, that hip kind of moves around on it too. I wish he was a little better structured. A steer that could use a little more cover today to win this class pretty handily. But I think two steers on the top of this class that do a lot of nice things. I like to keep them together and talk them that way because it is rather close. And then I think you get into some give and take in third and fourth. The steer that is going to be third today, in my opinion, is a lot more like the class winner. He's a little bit deeper bodied. He's got a little bit softer market steer look to him. I like the fact that he sits there and he just a little bit more complete and he balances out a little better than the Hereford that's going to end being fourth. Now, today, as you think about future, this Hereford could probably be the highest valued animal in this class because I think this Hereford's got more runway than any of the other steers in this class. The Hereford's longer. The Hereford's got good shape. I think when you look at this one from the side, maybe just gets a little cut up in his flank. His steer that just needs a little bit more body today and needs quite a bit more time, in my opinion. I think he could hang the highest yielding carcass, the highest yield grade carcass today. But today just needs more feed, maybe a little bit more look to get any higher in this group. But really interesting class to start us out. Challenged me a little bit, but let's give these lightweight steer rate exhibitors a big round of applause, please.
Results from our lightweight market steer class. Placing first with the blue is Joseph Kishpaw. Placing second with the blue is Sonny Kishpaw. Third with the blue is Zion Kishpaw. And fourth with the blue is Zaylee Kishpaw. In the ring now, we will have our heavyweight market steer class. These are steers weighing 1,420 pounds to 1,498 pounds. In this class, we will have Colton Gehringer and Abigail Gehringer.
For those that read the classics, I think The Tale of Two Cities is a literary classic, and this is A Tale of Two Kinds. We had the lightweight steers, and now the other end of that spectrum, we have heavyweight steers, and there's a load of animal in both of these cats. And I think as you start to study these, they look quite identical from the outside. You start to study them a little bit. I think it becomes a little more clear, in my opinion, which steer needs to win this class. I think you look at the top side of the skeleton of the young lady steer, get up on that steer, and you realize not only does he's more adequate in his cover at his 12th and 13th rib, which is very important, hopefully grade, choice, or better when they hang the steer on the rail. You get on the top side of that skeleton, though, you understand he's got quite a bit more shape in the upper part of that rib. I like the fact when you get your hands on this steer, he's quite a bit more robust in his loin, and he carries that back into a bigger, stouter hip. Now, from the outside, he looks a little plainer. He's maybe not the prettiest steer. That's where the steer here in second has the advantage. He gets his head up. He's a little bit more attractive in his look. I like that he's a little bit longer. To me, he just comes at us in a little flatter made package. He doesn't quite have the muscle shape, nor does he have the fat cover, I think, to beat this big black steer. Two big steers, a little more closer to their compositional endpoint than that lighter weight class that we saw, but it'll be interesting to view all these here in a minute. Let's give these two heavyweight steers a big round of applause, please.
Results of our heavyweight market steer class. Placing first with the blue is Abigail Geringer, and second with the blue is Colton Geringer. In the ring now, we will have our overall market beef. So we will have Abigail Geringer from the heavyweight market steer class, and then we will have Joseph Kishpaw from the lightweight market steer class.
Let's give all of our market steer exhibitors a big round of applause, please. For the numbers, I think there's still a lot of quality in the animals that were presented today, and I think the decision comes down, in my mind, we've got a lot of quality in that lightweight class. In my opinion, today's industry, they're a few hundred pounds still light of what an ideal market steer weight would be. And then we got a couple of the heavier weight steers that maybe aren't as flashy, maybe aren't as eye appealing as that younger, that smaller class, but a little bit more right in terms of the industry today. They're at a weight where they can hang a carcass that would be acceptable in terms of what we're striving for today in terms of overall fat cover and muscularity. I think it's really good to watch these two and kind of look at those differences. I think the white steer still has some good in him. He looks, from the outside, he looks like that fat market steer, but get your hands on him. You sure like him to be on feed for at least another month or two and get a little heavier. Young lady steer won the heavyweight class 1, comes at us closest to his compositional endpoint of anybody here on this show. And for that young lady, you'll be our grand champion market steer today. Okay? Let's give her a round of applause, please.
Our grand overall market beef goes to Abigail Geringer. For our reserve overall, we will pull Colton Geringer into the ring. So Colton can make his way to the ring. There you go.
Out here for a reserve overall market steer, I think, again, we've got that same conundrum. We've got a steer that's a little closer to his endpoint and a steer that maybe has a little bit more pizzazz to him, a little bit of flash. And I want to go off script here a little bit. Because of the way that he's made and because of the way he looks from the outside, young man's white steer is going to be reserve overall today. Young man's black steer is going to be third. So let's give them a big round of applause for all of our market steer exhibitors, please.
Our reserve overall market beef goes to Joseph Kishpaw. And our top blue market beef goes to Colton Geringer. In the ring now, we will move on to our breeding part of the show. So we will have Class 1 breeding heifers. This will be Justin Slade and Cooper Jantz. I would like to take a moment to thank all of our sponsors, fair board members, livestock superintendents, and everyone that could make the Kiowa County Fair possible this year. I also want to give a huge thank you to the Kiowa County Media Center, who's been live streaming all of our livestock shows. So please give everyone a round of a hand. We couldn't have had this fair without you.
As we transition into the breeding female show, man, two really high quality individuals start off, and really as you start to break these two down, in my opinion today, a lot of good in both animals, and I sure appreciate them both for some very specific reasons. You think about the Blue Roan, who's going to end up winning this class today. Maybe just a little bit more complete when you look at this female from the outside. A female that's a little bit deeper bodied, a little bigger ribbed, a heifer that comes at us. She's still attractive in that front 1/3, but for some, she's carrying a little bit more condition than some may like today. I think it makes her look a little bit more complete when you look at her from the outside. A female that really puts them up and sets them down nice in those 4 feet, and one that I appreciate again for her capacity. To me, she's got that brood cow look coming. She may be a little bit on the moderate side again for some folks. To me, I like the way that this one's put together and gets around the ring. And that's nothing to take away from the young man's black heifer that'll be second today. Very attractive in that front 1/3. Really long and angular in that neck, really angular in that setback in that shoulder. One that I appreciate, a little bit added length to the side. She comes at us today a little bit leaner in her condition, and that's okay. I think for this at this time, to me, her best days are ahead of her. I think as you
Blue is Justin Slade, and placing second with the blue is Cooper Jantz. In the ring now, we will have Class 2 of breeding heifers, and that'll be Justin Slade and Cooper Jantz. Following this class, we will go over and judge our cow-calf pairs. Our cow-calf pairs are being held over in the northwest corner. They'll be judged cow and calf together. So when we're done in the arena here, we will move over there for judging of the cow-calf pairs.
Well, same story, different verse, and I think two really high quality females in this class as well. I'd love to mix them all together and see how they look when all four of them are out at the same time, but understand why they're not doing that. I think as you look at these two from the outside, there's a couple things that you'd like to change about each individual, but really when you get them stopped, this is where that black heifer shines. When she gets stopped and she gets shown, she's the higher capacity, the bigger rib, probably the more attractive female from the outside. When she stops, she just puts it together in a little bit more complete package, and today she'll win this class. I think that's not to say there's some things I wouldn't change about her. To me, she's a little bolder in that shoulder. She's a heifer as she moves. I'd like to change how she moves out of that hip and off her hind leg just a tick. I'd love to blend that tail head a little bit better in her spine, but again, being awfully critical of a big capacity cow prospect for this young man. She's the burly-legged one that really gets around the ring. When she stops is when she has her best day, and I really appreciate her, that outline she makes when she does stop. It's not to take away from the young man's gray heifer that'll be second today. I like the fact she's a little longer out of that neck, definitely a little more refined in that shoulder. I like her in that set to her hind leg. I think she's more attractive in how that hind leg sets down. But again, today, she just a little bit less. And I think she maybe has a little bit less depth of body, maybe a little less spring of rib, but one from the outside has some length and she's got some attractiveness. To me, though, to be a little bit more complete, love to drop her down in that rear rib and flank. Love to give her a little more soft look from the outside. And as she moves, like to see her handle that top line a little bit better. But again, being critical, I think four really high quality heifers will be interesting to see these four coming back out. Let's give them a round of applause, please.
Results of Class 2 breeding heifers. First with the blue is Justin Slade, and second with the blue is Cooper Jantz. Now we will judge our cow-calf pairs over in the northwest corner of the barn. When we are done with that, we will come back to the ring to do our overall breeding heifer, overall breeding beef.
Can't really see what I'm doing now. Where's the judge? Now I can't film it.
All right, you're in the cow-calf pair show, if everyone can hear me okay. It's a really unique way to do this. Not a lot of county fairs do this, so I applaud Kiowa County for doing this and bringing the productive cattle to the fair. I think as you see and you evaluate these 4 individuals, a lot of give and take. And I think today, the message that I want you to go home with is these are 4 very productive females doing a very nice job raising their calves. And just because you're second or you're fourth today doesn't mean that animal is poor by any means. I'd be very proud to turn out any one of these pairs into my pasture at home. So commend you for doing a really nice job. And I think my job today, though, is to evaluate them. And in my opinion, what would I choose and what would I do? And I think if you start to evaluate not only the quality of the cow and the calf, but together the pair, I think there's one that comes at me that I really appreciate, not only from a substance of standpoint, but also is doing a very nice job of raising a calf. I'm going to use this young lady's pair with the White Sox. That pair is going to win today. The quality of that heifer calf, I think, is very, very good. And I like her. She comes at us probably a little heavier weight than some of these other cows that we see. A cow that's in good condition, but you look at the foundation of that female. Got a lot of bones, she's got a lot of substance, she's got a lot of mass, but one that's keeping that condition as she's raising a younger sometimes, but a little heavier calf, in my opinion, as I would take that guess. But a really nice pair. You know, maybe not the prettiest udder when you compare it to the other 3, but one that's very serviceable, an udder that's doing a nice job raising that heifer calf. I'm going to follow with this young man's pair right beside it, one that I like in terms of moderation. She comes at us a little smaller in terms of frame score, but has the robustness and rib. She's got a lot of capacity. She's got some depth of body as well. A cow that's got a little bit better condition in terms of her rig as well, and doing a nice job raising that steer calf. I think a nice pair again. When you look at the difference between cow weight and calf weight, one would probably be up there in terms of that ratio. I think the thing that sorts this top pair, in my opinion, is the quality of the calf, and I appreciate how that heifer calf looks. And that's not to take away from the 2 pairs that are on the other side over here. I think these 2 young men, peas in a pod, really, not only them, but their cattle. I'm going to go ahead and use the young man's pair here in front of me. To me, the cow comes a little more, has a little bit more condition maybe today than the pair that's going to complete our class. But 2 really high quality individuals, and I appreciate this kind of a productive look into cow-calf production, and really applaud you guys for doing this. So let's give our cow-calf exhibitors a round of applause, please. That makes sense. Good. Okay.
Results of our cow-calf pair class. Placing first with the blue is Charlie Jantz. Placing second with the blue is Cooper Jantz. Placing third with the blue is Landon Unruh. And placing fourth with the blue is Mason Unruh. In the ring now, we will have our overall breeding selection. So from Class 1 breeding heifers, we will have Justin Slade. From Class 2 breeding heifers, we will have Justin Slade. And then from our cow-calf pairs, we will have Charlie Jantz.
Let's give all of our female exhibitors a big round of applause, please, for tonight. I think as we move through them, again, I talked these classes, a lot of quality for the lack of numbers that are in this show, and I appreciate making it a little more challenging as I sort through those. Again, the give and take in all the classes, I think there's some things that we could do a little bit different. I applaud the county for having this pair show. That's a unique thing for exhibitors to be able to do that, and sure, think about ways of doing that different. I think today that pair really put together and really exhibited a nice heifer calf for me in those pins. So I look through the shorthorn and the heifer that wins this second class, though. I think two females that have a lot of quality as they stand. Two females that I appreciate that come at us with a little bit more show look, that come at us with a little bit more rib and capacity today. Nothing taken away from the young lady's cow that was champion cow-calf pair. But as I start to break these down, you start to look at those kind of qualities. I think as you start to evaluate and prioritize soundness, I think there's a heifer that stands out to me today that's going to be our champion. It's going to be the young man's Blue Roan Shorthorn. Let's give him a big round of applause, please. And then for reserve, I think you get down to two that you have maybe a little bit give and take in terms of how they're made. I think you have some give and take in the. Please do, yes. Okay.
Our grand champion breeding heifer goes to Justin Slade. And then in the ring now, we will pull our reserve from that class, which is Cooper Jantz.
Apologies for jumping the gun there. Young man's April coming out, again, a very high quality female. I think as you evaluate these for reserve, and then the top blue would be the third place today, the female show, I think a lot of quality out here. I think it's some give and take. I think the young man's heifer from that second class will be your reserve overall today. Let's give him a round of applause, please. For me here and for the top blue designation here in the female show, it's hard to look over one that's in production. I think it's an unfair comparison. I think you've got one that's more youthful. You got one that's a little bit more attractive. She's still in that stage of her life where her best days are ahead of her. We talked about that in class, and I think you've got one that's paid the price, and she's doing the things out there for this young lady. She'll be our top blue today here in the female show. Let's give all of our female exhibitors a round of applause, please.
Our reserve overall breeding heifer goes to Justin Slade, and then our top blue goes to Charlie Jantz. In the ring now, we will have our overall beef, so we will need our grand champion from the breeding division, which is Justin Slade, and then we will need our grand champion from the market division, which will be Abigail Geringer.
Abigail! I'm gonna zoom in on her, okay? Hey, Abigail.
As we wrap up this the beef show here in Kiowa County, I want to say thank you for the invitation to come and do this. I hope when you look and you see the cattle that are evaluated, you see some animals with some quality that drifted toward the top of that class. You see some animals that have some capacity from a female standpoint, they have some soundness from a steer standpoint, they have some market readiness, and I think we saw that today. For overall beef, I think it's evident to me from a soundness standpoint, this young man's Blue Roan Shorthorn will be the top pick of overall beef today. So let's give him a round of applause, please.
Our grand champion overall beef goes to Justin Slade. We will now have Justin Slade come back into the ring for the reserve. Our reserve overall beef goes to Justin Slade. And then our top blue third overall beef goes to Abigail Geringer. This will conclude our beef show. I want to thank everyone for coming out here tonight. Again, I want to thank Ryan for his time and coming down and evaluating our livestock here tonight. Tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. we will have round robin. We'll have different events happening throughout the day. And then tomorrow evening we will have our community barbecue, and our Kiowa County Fair Premium Auction will be tomorrow night starting at 7. I hope everyone has a great evening and a great rest of fair.